inside the venerable Palestra in Philadelphia for NCAA Gymnastics on ESPN and Senior Day for these Penn Quakers as they take on Ursinus College. Good afternoon and welcome inside, everybody. I'm Andrew Luftglass alongside Kristen Leone. She hit her second 9-8 of the season last week at Towson. Front layout, front full, little step, kept it in.
That's a stacked vault lineup. They have all Yurchenko fulls and one Yurchenko 1.5, so a really, really good solid build for the Owls over on vault.
You mentioned the 1.5. Ariana Castrense will perform that 1.5. She is in the anchor spot for Temple on the vault. They had two scores of 49 or better last week. You mentioned the program record 49-2 at NC State on Friday and a 49-05 at the GW Tri-Meet at George Washington on Sundays. You get a look at the double layout stuck by Sierra Kondo to lead off on bars for Maryland, an apparatus for them where they have a lot of difficulty, high difficulty on the bars, 6 single bar release moves and 6 E-dismounts. They'll all be double layouts.
Yeah, Brett could not talk enough about the difficulty that's packed into this bar lineup that he has put together. He's really excited about it, and he knows that if they all hit, it's going to be a big number.
And a big returnee in that lineup, too. The second spot in this lineup that we'll see coming up shortly. Again, Maryland in the top right in bars. Sonia Glauber is coming back today from elbow surgery. She had elbow surgery after last season, and Brett was saying they thought it would be like a 3 to 4 month recovery period, something like that. Ended up being a 7-month recovery period, and that's a big return. The senior from Mission Viejo, California, tied the school record at the Big Fives last year, a 9.95, and she is set to go in the second spot, making her return to this bar lineup for the Terps. This is Kirsten Belkoff to lead things off for the Quakers.
Setting up for her first tumbling series.
Oh, there's that triple series. Nailed it last week and does it again. She stuck this last week too. Dismount's going to be a 1.5 twist. There's the round off.
Small hop on the landing overall. Great routine.
Some really great choreography out of Maryland, and we actually did talk to Coach Nelligan about this. I've been watching. They are very fun. Really, really fun routines across the board.
And that's by Morgan Ross, who is now the assistant coach at Yale and does their choreography. Morgan was here with the Terps for the last few years and did the choreography for these routines before she got the Yale job. And now Brett Nelligan talked to his old college teammate, Andy Lease, who's now the interim head coach at Yale, and said, hey, can Morgan still do the choreo for us next year? You think that'd be okay?
And the only tiny thing I saw was like a half of a balance check on that side aerial, like barely, if I'm being so picky. But I think we could see another really good score there for her.
The two seniors in the beam lineup on senior night coming off of a disappointing bar rotation for the Owls, and Castrense and Rowland wrap up this beam lineup for Temple with what should be two very, very good scores. Castrense 9.925, and we'll wait on the score that gets thrown for Juliana Rowland, who had a 9.925 of her own last week. She gets another 9.925 tonight.
The seniors tying on beam. You can see it, giving each other a hug there in sort of the bottom left corner of their box. Very well deserved. Beam queens, both of them.
Kat Doran on bars, top right for Bridgeport.
And so far so good. She had a huge piked Jaeger. A little bit of form on that blind full going into her dismount, but another hit routine. Really impressive work over there on bars for the Purple Knights. Those were some really, really big release moves, and like I said, that dismount, she really fought for that. Probably didn't feel the best. I saw her really arch, but she pulled it together and got that routine. Another hit for Bridgeport over there on bars.
And she is their bar ace. You mentioned the arching. That's tough for her. She had a strained abdomen earlier this year that kept her out of the lineup for bars on February 5th. She's been nursing that this year, so hopefully okay. But that piked Jaeger you mentioned she had, we were talking with Lorraine Gallo earlier this year, a couple weeks ago, and Kat actually had been training a laid-out Jaeger, and she said it helped her to get to that piked Jaeger and compete it a little bit more successfully in competition because she had been training with the laid-out Jaeger. First ever performance on any event for the freshman.
Nice.
Oh, wow. How about that finish?
She's here, and she's here to stay, apparently.
Here comes the last pass. Wow. Boy, that was fun, and a hug from Kim Valenti. Oh, you love to see that. Stepping in for her NCAA debut. Beautiful.
But with that vault, I do think Audrey might take the all-around crown because that was humongous.
Audrey Barber's vault, a Yurchenko full, she's competed a 1.5 this year, but as a bruised heel, and there was some question today from head coach Brett Nelligan if she would compete the 1.5 or stay safe with the full. Looked like she stayed with the full, but it was kind of a game time decision if she could do the 1.5 in warm-ups. I think it's illustrative of her ability to do that extra half twist, how high she gets off the table.
Those blind landings are so tough. Well stuck, well placed. Dancing into the corner.
That is assistant coach India Anderson, who was a great gymnast at Temple just up the road, miming along with Casey. Love that. Now for McKaylee Marr on beam for Penn, a 9.95 last week. Not only tying a program record, the highest score for a Quaker gymnast in over 21 years. She'll dismount with a full twisting double back. Here it comes. Big stick.
Nice. Great comeback.
As we mentioned, a fall to start, but you've got to recover. And Isabel Song did a phenomenal job of doing just that, coming back with this stuck landing on the full twisting double back. So for Lauren Capone, I am Andrew Luftglass saying so long from McGonigal Hall, where the final score is. Deep breath for a quad meet final score. Maryland 196.55, Temple 195.775, Southern Connecticut State 188.95, and Bridgeport 186.45. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.